Ooh, smelling this still makes me gasp. So sexy. Hello my lovelies, welcome back to this perfume channel. Today is a video about perfumes that I smelled and I gasped in amazement because they were so great. This is just another video to basically tell you about fragrances that you should know about because they're absolutely amazing. There's quite a few new ones because I've been on a roll actually getting a lot of new fragrances. First up, it is Carine from Fragrance du Bois. This fragrance has got one of my favorite notes of like this almond cherry. It's a very popular note and so many fragrance brands are trying to do this, but this cherry, it's like this juicy but soft cherry. It's different than, for example, like Tom Ford, the cherries that they've released, the fragrances. This is more of this delicious, I would say almost rosy cherry that is very feminine and it's not as dark, although in the notes they say it's got oud and it's a bit lactonic. I do agree that lactonicness, it's a bit of that softness. It's almost like a creamy but still very cherry. It's not just cream, it's very cherry prominent, but it's got this softness that is absolutely amazing on the skin. And the oud in here, it just complements and gives the cherry a depth, but it's not a very strong oud either. So that's why I just love this scent because it smells absolutely amazing in the air. It lasts. I smelled it in a department store and they were like spraying it, giving cards to people, and the whole foyer just smelled so good. I just had to know what this fragrance was and that just got me into it. So this is very like attention seeking sort of a fragrance, but I love that it's juicy and cherry but not with an overpowering oud, which I find a lot of fragrances are now doing, like cherry and a very overpowering oud. And in the dry down, it's absolutely stunning. It becomes a bit more musky and clean, which I also very much like. I love this one. Next fragrance that I gasped when I smelled it and I just fell in love with it, and this is a fragrance that I actually know that many of you bought it because Maciej has said that this is like one of his favorite fragrances, like for the like sex appeal. Like he finds this fragrance really, really sexy, and some of you have sent me a message saying you bought it and you absolutely love it. And I would say this is not a blind buy, although some of you have blind bought this, but this fragrance is very specific and I love it because it's not basic at all. If you love your tuberose, a jasmine, patchouli scents, ylang ylang, oh, smelling this still makes me gasp. This is a powerful woman. It's just cold, dark, also sexy and creamy with the white florals. Man, it's so good, and that patchouli gives it that bit of like almost like a nutty feeling to this fragrance. Oh my gosh, if you've ever smelled Orchid Soleil from Tom Ford, which they have discontinued, I always say that I love that plasticky weirdness in that scent. It just smelled the best, and this has got that same scent, and I think it's this tuberose that they use that makes this like a really creamy but plasticky smell. Oh, it's the oddest smell, but it is just the best. So if you purchase this, let me know in the comments if you love it. But oh my gosh, this is gorgeous, absolutely signature worthy, so good. Next fragrance that is perhaps a bit more popular but still makes me gasp, and every time I smell it I'm like, this is just class. The scent profile, the amount of every single fragrance oil in here, it's just perfumer perfection, and it is Un Jardin Méditerranéen from Hermes. They've got a few of these different fragrances in the line, but if you've seen my channel, if you've watched this channel, you know that I struggle with fresh fragrances. I don't like many of them, and this has got my heart. This is just not a typical fresh fragrance. It's a figgy, fresh, almost sparkling, but still very calming and cooling fragrance. It smells just so aromatic and natural and cozy for a fresh fragrance, which is, you know, hard to come by. And I love this feeling of instant, like even smelling it now, it just gives you that feeling of calm. It smells like a beautiful holiday, very sophisticated fragrance. It's not boring, it's just classic. I could just imagine it on somebody in a royal family. This is how it smells like, just like somebody who is like this old money scent that they just wear on beautiful luxurious holidays. Absolutely stunning. Next perfume that I'll talk about, it's another one that I got a sample of, and I was absolutely amazed when I read the name of the fragrance. I thought to myself, this will smell like something, and then I smelled it and I was like completely surprised. And a good surprise it was, and I just thought, oh, I will have to get it because it's absolutely stunning and very different, I would say. So it is BDK Vanille Leather, and this scent, the caps are so heavy, it always takes me a while to open them. This scent is a soft vanilla, but it is rosy. It is almost like a little bit sparkling, like Sprite. It's extremely soft. It's got iris in here as well, and it's like this boozy, slightly boozy, very soft, almost like feels like cashmere fragrance. It's so good. It's not your typical straight up vanilla, because when I read this, I thought this will be like a very strong, leathery, badass vanilla. No, it's completely opposite. I would say this is an extremely romantic, like a Jane Austen movie sort of a vanilla scent that I could imagine one of her characters would wear. And it's got that leather, but the leather is almost like if you smelled Crème de Cuir from BDK, that is the sort of soft leather that this scent has. It's very soft, and it just gives this fragrance a bit of a patina, I would say. Absolutely divine. I'm so excited about recording because I haven't recorded in like a week because I was traveling, so it feels good to be back and talking to you. Next scent I just took recently on my trip to Cannes. I'm so obsessed with this fragrance. I almost feel bad because I don't like when a fragrance makes me this excited. I'm like, calm down, Monica. You've got other fragrances to get excited about, but seriously, I'll have to get a full bottle of this. This is Cashmere from Ormonde Jayne, and this brand, I recently was like, okay, it's time. I've tried in the past to get into this brand, and I just tried a few scents and I thought, this brand is not for me. But then on a recent trip to Selfridges, I was like, oh, I like this, so I'll give it another chance. And man, I'm glad I did, because I found perhaps one of my favorite fragrances of like now, the moment. Oh, I don't want to spray it because it's so good. I don't want to waste it. This is an extremely amazing scent that to me it feels like a really rich patchouli that isn't heavy. This fragrance is just calming. It's, you know, cashmere. I love anything that is cashmere on the skin or makes me feel like, you know, cashmere in the scent, and this fragrance is definitely that. They just did this perfectly. When it first opens, this fragrance just hits you with cardamom and coriander. It's so just spicy, but in this like soft, really intense way. But then it just gives you the most amazing rose and iris, and I think perhaps the iris makes this fragrance just so soft, while still the patchouli is there from the beginning. You can just tell that it gives its depth, like character, and it just makes it last on the skin an insane amount of time and project as well. And I love fragrances that have got that patchouli base that just brings it all together, and it's got just a tiny bit of vanilla and just the tiniest a bit of smoky incense. But overall, I would say this is like a badass patchouli scent that it's just absolutely amazing, especially for this time of the year. man, this is just perfection in a bottle. Go and try it out and thank me later. This is just amazing. Next up, we've got a fragrance that again just is an amazing scent, and I think any of you, if you smell this, you'll be like, wow, this is something special. And it's Initio Side Effect. I think this fragrance has just got that effect on people. I have actually recently, I was at the fragrance scouter, where you can always find me somewhere in a fragrance shop, and somebody smelled this and they were like, wow, this is so good. And this is the impression you'll get with Side Effect. It's this fragrance that is so powerful. It's got an amazing cinnamon in here, this red fruitiness. It's got this really just amazing leather. It's just a fragrance that is a pleasure to wear. It projects, it lasts long. It's a sexy, beastie sort of a fragrance. Men can wear it, women can wear it. Like I wear it, my husband wears it, and we both absolutely love the scent. So if you're looking for your next like powerful scent, Side Effect is one of those fragrances that you can just blind buy and know that you'll absolutely love. Next scent that made me just gasp, and it is a scent that when I was traveling, I smelled it at duty free. I was like, oh my gosh, how have I not smelled this fragrance before? It's a new one. It's a Devotion, but the intense one from Dolce Gabbana, and it instantly reminded me of Lyra. And I was like, how did I miss this fragrance? But there's so many releases. Sometimes just one, just goes past me and I'm like, oh. But this scent, if you want a close dupe of Lyra, Devotion Intense, it has the spirit of Lyra. Maybe it doesn't have the amazing ingredients, but it has the nuttiness, it has the chocolatiness, it's got this orange. It's got all the characters that we love Lyra from Xerjoff, Casamorati from. I just had to tell you about it because I gasped and I was like, oh my gosh, finally a fragrance that I can say, hey, if you love Lyra and you don't want to spend the money, get yourself something like this, because sometimes we just don't have infinite money to spend on fragrances. This fragrance, Lyra, is totally worth it in my opinion still, but it's nice to have options. Next fragrance is a fragrance that I had to get just because I love saffron so much, and anything that is called something with saffron is on my to-buy list, and this is the extrait version of Crystal Saffron from Matière Première. Their fragrances are absolutely phenomenal. Get yourself a sample set, totally worth it. They're just the ingredients, like you can smell how high quality they are, and this fragrance in particular, it's just absolutely amazing. I'll right here, but oh my gosh, the saffron in here is just to die for. To me, saffron just smells dry but extremely fragrant and spicy, and it's got this leatheriness to it, and this is like a badass saffron scent. This is just pure saffron, some frankincense, some ambroxan to make it really pop and make it really project, and this fragrance is a beast. My husband actually stole it from me because he was like, I'm wearing it. I was like, no, I'm wearing it. So we are at the moment fighting to wear this fragrance because we don't want to smell the same. This scent, it is a powerhouse if you love your saffron bombs, and you'll know if you love saffron because if you like Baccarat Rouge, that spice in there, then you'll know that you love saffron. Try this out. This is especially amazing for this time of year when it gets cooler and you want fragrance to really jump off your clothes and skin. You want a powerful scent. This is something absolutely amazing without being like an amber vanilla that we usually wear during like now fall and winter. This is something dry and absolutely phenomenal. So sexy. Another scent and perfume that just made me gasp, and I know that I'll want a full bottle of this. It is the new Torino 24 from Xerjoff. So they've done a 21, 22, 23 and now 24. I don't think this has been released yet because I was in Cannes and I got to discover many of the new releases. I got a sample of this and let me tell you, this is a treat. We don't have the notes yet, but to me, if I had to describe how this smells like, this smells extremely clean, musky, soft. It slightly reminds me of Valaya from Parfum de Marly, but much more natural smelling. It doesn't have that harshness in here. It's a bit citrusy, a bit fruity almost. Just such a clean, stunning scent. Lean's definitely more feminine, and this scent is like a perfect everyday scent. I wore it the other day. I was like, oh my gosh, Xerjoff, yes, this will be my scent for the year. I'm definitely getting a bottle. It's absolutely stunning. And another scent that recently made me just fall in love with it. It is Super Rose from Les Eaux Primordiales. This is my first scent from this brand. And this is a saffron patchouli scent. You can tell I love saffron, but this is much of a fresh version of saffron. It's got a bit of pear. It's got a bit of this like green smell to it, almost like a fresh dew on the grass. It smells intense and spicy and rosy and patchouli, but it's got this green and fresh side, which I love because usually the rose saffron combos are really intense and I love it sometimes, but this is something a bit different, something greener, and perhaps I would say that this would be perfect for when it gets a bit warmer and I still want to wear my powerful saffron scents, but I don't want them to be so dark and intense. I want something a bit more green and, you know, maybe a spring fragrance. Yeah, this would be perfect for a spring scent. It's very heavy on the projection as well. So if you love that, then this is a perfect, really confidence inducing sort of a fragrance. Absolutely beautiful, and love that the design is a bit different. Let me know what is the fragrance that made you the most impressed ever when you first smelled it and you were just absolutely floored. Let me know what that was. I'll link all of these, of course, in the description, apart from the Xerjoff one because I don't think I can find it yet, and any samples I can find for them so you can try them at home if you don't live close to a department store. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next one.